Okay, guys, on this episode of Philippines Extremes, I'm going to talk to you about foreigners scamming in the Philippines. The next thing you know, he started showing up with some gold coins. So, what he said to be raw gemstones. All right, so if you're following the expat community on YouTube, you've probably stumbled across the recent controversy between World Zoom and Every Man Has a Story. So I kind of want to just add my 2 cents, but also talk about my experiences with foreigners in the Philippines. If you're unfamiliar, the channel Every Man Has a Story is showcasing content where expats who come to the Philippines go on his channel and they interview about their life and their time in the Philippines and just, whatever. So World Zoom went on Every Man Has a Story, and he withheld a lot of information, and Every Man Has a Story felt lied to. World Zoom has a sordid past, okay? If you want to check it out, feel free to go look at his channel. There's several videos about it. Check out Every Man Has a Story's posts about it, and you can get more information there. I'm not going to go too into detail about it, but since it came up, it reminded me, of my past in the Philippines and dealing with expats, and how I thought it would be important to make a video to inform others who are considering coming to the Philippines some things to watch out for in regards to expats. When I was watching it at first, I was shocked, and I thought, what most people thought, what is this guy? He's a liar. But then I was reminded of an Einstein quote, which I tried to Google, but I couldn't find it. But I remember Einstein, he said, don't reveal to just anyone your past mistakes. That's all I'm going to say about that. If I was going to go, and most people, if they're going to go publicly, they're probably not going to tell everybody right off the top, all of their mistakes of their past. Just remember, guys, every man has a story. And again, it's a story. And you don't really have any way to verify any of these things. So keep that in mind. Every man has a story, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's fact or fiction. Okay, so that's all I really want to say about that. That's between them. Go check that out if you want to know more information. I don't want to get involved in it too much. So I wanted to relay to you a couple of experiences I have personally had with foreigners in the Philippines and people who are up to no good. The one that stands out most in my mind is this guy from, I believe, Norway or Germany. Okay, so the guy was very, very talkative, very slick and friendly, and had a lot of information. And this was about 8 years ago. I was maybe 9 years ago. Yeah, it was the first time I came here. But I'd been here for a couple of months, and so, I thought I was, pretty experienced at that point, which in hindsight, I was absolutely a rookie. Anyhow, so he, talked a good game, and he owned a little potato business where he was frying potatoes and putting like German spice on them. And every time I'd go there, it was, pretty popular place. So it seemed like he was doing pretty well. But one day he showed up, and I'd known him for a couple of months at this point. So I'd been there, 4 or 5 months. And he told me that he had just paid, a big story. I just paid all my bills, and then the city came and it was time for me to pay my permit, and I didn't have the money. So is there any way that you can loan me 5,000, and I will pay you back, in about a week after I make the money back, because you've seen my business. It's so popular, and, no problem. You can trust me. So um, I was apprehensive, but it was 5,000 pesos. And at the time I was packing like 100K in my closet like an idiot. And so I thought, who cares? It's not that big of a risk. I'll do it. So I loaned him the 5K, and you guessed it. I didn't see or hear from him in that 2 weeks. In fact, it was like over a month and a half before I finally saw him. I went to his business several times. He was never there. His wife said, "Oh, he'll be back," which in reality, I think he probably saw me coming, and his wife and him were in on it, and he probably just hid in the back or something. I don't know. But I never caught him, face to face. And so I just kind of gave up on it. I was like, oh, well, you live, you learn. So then one day he shows up on my doorstep, and he's like, bro, I can't pay you back, but look at what I got. I've got these gold coins. And so fortunately for me, part of my past and passion is mining and numismatics, so coin collecting and jewelry. I worked at a high-end jewelry store. I've done a lot of mining, and a big coin collector since my early teens. Anyways, so he pulls out this stack of gold coins, and they were, fake as George Washington's wooden teeth. They were not anywhere near any kind of precious metal whatsoever. They were replicas of Filipino coins that used to circulate, I guess. Because in the old days, before 1963, every country had gold and silver coins in circulation, because gold and silver is historically, since the beginning of man, has always been a real currency. And it wasn't until they killed Kennedy that they dropped the gold and silver standard, and we went to this fake paper money and these fake metal coins that you see in circulation today. So he had these coins, these gold coins, and they were absolutely fake. And I told him, dude, these aren't real. I don't want anything to do with it. Just pay me the cash when you get the money. So he's like, oh, he's playing it off like, oh, I don't know, these people scammed me. I thought they were real, and I'll bring you the real ones. So, of course, didn't see him again for maybe a month, when he shows up again on my doorstep, and he's got the real ones. And again, these were a little bit better replicas, but they were absolutely fake as well. And he's, slamming his feet and blah, blah, blah. So anyways, he shows back up a long time later, and he's got some gemstones. And he's like, these were mined, near the volcano, and these are tourmalines. And again, fortunately, I'd worked in a jewelry store. I'd handled a lot of tourmalines. I'd seen raw gems, and things, and at gold and silver shows, and mined, crystals and things. And these were just quartz. So I told him, and he's like, "Wow, man, I didn't know that. I don't have knowledge like you." And long going around in circles with him. So, of course, turned those down and said I didn't want anything to do with them. And then I never heard from him again. So I kissed that 5,000 pesos goodbye, and I learned my lesson. So then he was the first guy that I met that was a total scammer. But coming back here again, there was this guy, and I was interested in buying a motorcycle, and he said he would sell me a scooter. So I hadn't didn't I'd been here a lot longer now, and I knew more. So I rode it. It was fine. There was nothing mechanically wrong with it. It was sound. It was a good bike. But going around in circles with him about the paperwork, and I'll show you the paperwork tomorrow, and it turns out I won't go into huge lengthy detail like I did with the coin guy, but he was not the owner. He was trying to just sell it, and he had papers that didn't even belong to him. It was his nephews or something. I can't remember, but not on the up and up. Okay, so and other things happened that just showed me he wasn't paying his rent. He was really far behind, and he ended up leaving town and leaving a trail of debt. So this is important for you guys to hear. And I said this in one of my earlier videos, but since all this stuff came up with World Zoom and Every Man Has a Story, I thought it would be a good time to make a video to warn you guys about the expats. A lot of people that come here are flying by the seat of their pants. Some people come here and they don't have a backup plan, like me. I don't have a backup plan right now, other than if I have to, I'll go back to the States and sell my property or something, and work for a couple months and then come back. That's my plan B. But anyways, a lot of people that do come here, they don't have anything, waiting for them back home, and they blow their whole wad here, and then they end up broke and have to do whatever they can to try to survive. So they resort to theft and scams and cons. There's this other famous expat in the news right now named Barry Jordan, and he's been running amok here for I don't even know, more than a decade, just scamming people, being violent, breaking the law, and that's just two people, but there are many people that come here from the West who are up to no good. So just wanted to let you guys know that if you meet expats, not everybody's going to be that way, and most of them are going to be fine. But my past experiences with expats have made me leery of knowing them. And like I made the video about disgruntled expats in the Philippines, there are a lot of those. So when you meet a lot of expats, all they do is complain, and they just throw red flags to me. So I just haven't really met any expats that I've gotten along with yet, and I know there are good ones here, but I kind of do just I give a wave when I see them, and most of them don't wave back even, because they've probably been burned by expats, and a lot of us just kind of avoid each other because of these things. The risk is kind of high that the guy that came over here is already broke, and you just want to kind of steer clear of him. So that's kind of been my experience. And I know that many people that are long-term expats can tell a tale or two about some scammer expats that they've encountered. So don't be naive when you come here, guys. It's not, you hear about all the common things like the taxis and everything else, but it's also the expat that you need to be leery of when you meet. I mean, if you're in your home country and somebody comes up to you and they want to borrow 1,000 pesos or $20 or anything, what do you do? No, get away from me. I don't want to give you anything, right? Um, so, use your wits and use your intellect, and don't just, trust everybody at face value. Be very, very careful, because there are people, desperate people, especially, when they're abroad over here and you get broke. Imagine what kind of a desperate kind of feeling you would have. And most of those guys are overstaying. They haven't paid their visa fees, and they're gonna do and say whatever they can to um, try to get things out of you. And be very careful if you're trying to buy land here. There's expats that I've heard that have done real estate scams here, and they don't have any title to the land, and they'll just sell it to people. There'll be expats that will want to team up with you and start businesses, and a lot of those situations have turned to chaos in the end. So, keep your money to yourself, be friendly, but do not loan people money, and do not fall for any of these things. And you can obviously be friendly, make friends with expats if you want, but keep them at arm's length when it comes to, finances. So that's all I wanted to say about that. And I wanted to warn you guys just to be careful, because there are scammers abroad the same way there are scammers in the home country. So that's about it. So now, guys, please subscribe to my channel. I've got some more interviews coming up and some more helpful tips. And I try to be informative, and I'm here to help you guys out. So drop a comment down below if you've been scammed by anybody, so that other people can learn from you and your mistakes and things, so that we can all look out for each other, because this is like the Wild West in a sense. And it'd be nice if we could have each other's backs, but just keep each other at arm's length. So anyways, thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe, and check out my next videos where I interview more Filipinos, and have a blessed day.